Good afternoon or good evening, wherever you happen to be. I'm James Thomas Schauer, Executive Director of the AGO. It's my great pleasure to welcome you here to our chapter leader town hall meeting. We're using a new technology. We've used it once before, Airmeet. It is an exciting technology, and a lot of us keep learning moment by moment how it works. So bear with us, please, if we discover a few technology challenges along the way. Suffice to say, this really is a fun, new, interesting application, and those of us who have worked with it before have found it quite successful. Let me make just a few opening remarks before I turn it over. We have a busy, full agenda with lots of people I want you to meet. But first, let me just mention a reminder that the Adult Convention is coming up, July 3 to 7. We're still accepting registrations. We've kept the early registration, the discounted registration rate open for everybody for one more week, but that week closes June 6th. I guess that's today. I think it's the very last day for you to get in at the discounted rate. Tomorrow it goes away. So midnight tonight Pacific time is the last chance to get in at a discounted rate. Otherwise, the rates go up. We're looking for your chapter leaders, all of you. So thank you for being here. Chapter leaders, we're looking for POE hosts for 2023. The application deadline has technically passed. That doesn't stop us. We're still looking for applicants for the POEs for 2023. So if you're interested, please reach out to Eric Burke or go online and look at our POE information. You'll see the application there on our website. And one more reminder, we're today at June 6th. That means we have 24 days left until the end of the month, which is when the Year of the Young Organist comes to a close. That means there's 24 days left for any young organist who is not currently a member of the AGO to join the AGO at no charge for 1 year, a free 1-year membership. The young organist, anybody under the age of 30, 29 and under, can join the AGO still for free for 1 year, or renew for free for 1 year, or reinstate if they've been lapsed for a few years for 1 year. There's still an opportunity, 24 days to go. Please, if you know a young organist, you want to give them a graduation present that's really easy on the pocketbook, give them a 1-year free membership in the AGO. Call up AGO headquarters and they ask Molly or Felicia or Elizabeth how best to do that and facilitate a 1-year free membership for an AGO member who's under 30, for a young organist. Let me take this opportunity now to just take a few moments to talk about our strategic plan, which Molly, if you'd be so kind as to put up our strategic plan on screen. We'll take a quick look at it. This is our 2021 to 2024 strategic plan. We're here in 2022, so we're 1/3 of the way through. This is on our website under the About tab. It says strategic plan. Click on it. You can read the whole thing. It's easy. It's a good read. Molly, if you'll scroll down, please, to the aims. We're going to go through pretty quickly. Go right to the aims. There we go. And our aims are to attract, first and foremost, attract and retain members who play and appreciate the organ. And welcome and include organists of all ages, races, and religions who play all types of instruments at all skill levels. This is focused on diversity and inclusion. Provide a valuable, engaging, and meaningful experience to all AGO members, no matter what chapter they belong to. That's the underlying thought about that. We want every member, no matter what chapter they're involved in, to have a valuable, engaging, and meaningful experience. Let's go down a little more, please, Molly, to goals and strategies. There are 3 that we're focused on: chapters and community, first and foremost. And so we'll scroll a little more, please, Molly, to the goals. We're going to help chapters of all sizes function effectively. Don't you see it's right up at the top? It's the most important thing we have to do. It's chapters and communities are our first focus. Helping chapters are our primary priority and our very first focus. Help chapters of all sizes function effectively. Let's scroll a little bit further down, Molly, to our 3rd goal: invest in the next generation of organists. That's my reminder of the Year of the Young Organist and the need to keep our young organists, get our young organists into the AGO and keep them involved in the AGO. We don't want to lose them once they're in, so give them programs, please, that are valuable. Education and recognition focuses on the core purpose of the AGO, a 501c3, not-for-profit entity. We are tax exempt because we are an educational organization, and that's why we always focus on educational activities and goals. We're going to scroll down a little more, please. Beyond education to organization capacity and effectiveness, our 3rd and final set of goals. consistently deliver a purposeful and achievable volunteer experience for you. You are our chapter leaders. You are the people that we want to make sure have a purposeful and achievable volunteer experience. So we're focused on serving our leaders of our organization. And we're going to significantly expand the AGO's technological and marketing capacity, communications capacity. And we're doing that in part by adding a marketing and communications specialist to our team. We have done so. His name is J.W. Arnold, and you will hear from J.W. a little later on in this session. And we'll finish it up with the last few items there, Molly. Last item, align AGO's operations with association's norms and best practices. We always want to be mindful of best practices and follow them. So with that, a quick overview of the strategic plan. Let me move us along to the next item on our agenda, and that is to give you the opportunity to meet one of our newest staff members, the new editor of the American Organist magazine, Nick Burgin. Now, Nick would love to be here with us live, but he's visiting relatives overseas. So we're going to have a little presentation. He's made a recording, which Elizabeth George will introduce.
Our editor of the American Organist magazine, Nick Burgin, could not be with us today in person, so he wanted to say hello to you. So take it away, Nick.
Thanks, Elizabeth. As she said, I'm Nick Burgin. I'm the new editor of TAO as of January of this year. I'm based in Nashville, Tennessee. I've lived here since 2012. And before I was hired as the full-time editor of TAO, I worked for the magazine as a freelancer doing copy editing and proofreading, and I have done that since about 2018. I have a background as an organist. I started to play the organ when I was an undergrad at the Peabody Conservatory. I studied there with Donald Sutherland. I did a master's degree at Indiana University as a student of Jeanette Fishel. I've been involved with the AGO since about 2007. I've competed in Arikio. I entered NIACOP once or twice. I was on the board of the Baltimore chapter. I've been the dean of the Bloomington chapter and of the Nashville chapter as well. And I've also been the newsletter editor of the Nashville chapter since 2017. So I have a good sense of the Guild just from being a member. And I know well what is involved with chapter leadership in a lot of different capacities. I've worked as the organist at a number of different churches. For about 7 years, I was the organist at First Presbyterian here in Nashville, which was my first job out of grad school. And kind of in the mid-2010s, I became interested in publishing. I'd always had a love for writing, and I decided I wanted to pursue that more seriously as a career option. And so I got a certificate in manuscript editing through the Graham School of the University of Chicago, which offers just professional certificates. So I've done editorially, in addition to TAO, I've done a lot of book work. I've worked for an academic press editing books, and also for an Eastern Orthodox press, also copy editing and proofreading books. I've also had a church communications job. For about 6 months last year, I was the communications coordinator at First Pres, where I was once the organist. So what else about me? I've taught privately as an organ teacher, and I've also taught at the Bloomington POE. I did that in 2018. I've also had a sort of tangential connection to the organ building world, very tangential, really. In 2021, I had about a 6-month internship in a cabinet shop here in Nashville. And before the TAO job came up, I was looking into the possibility of pursuing organ building. So all that to say, I have a sense of being an organist from the perspective of a teacher, of a church organist, of a little bit in the organ building world. And so hopefully all of that has me well suited to work for TAO, which serves, our entire constituency in the Guild. In terms of my work for TAO, it's been just such a joy to have one full-time job and to be able to pour all my energy into that over the past few months. I inherited a very well-run machine, a great system from Todd Sisley, my predecessor. I'm fortunate to work with wonderful people, both in the AGO national office and also the staff of the magazine itself. Just really hardworking, very dedicated people, and they're just all a joy to work with. So in the past few months, I've sort of been getting my sea legs. I've done my best to just kind of keep things moving smoothly and to make the transition seamless. And I've had a lot of support in that from a lot of different people. Moving forward, we've got a couple of new series planned. I'm hoping to do a series on chorister programs around the country, both in churches and in more sort of secular contexts as well. So, community choruses and things like that. We also have a series brewing on the organ as a global instrument. And also we launched a new series in the magazine, a new column called Notes from AGO Headquarters. And this just is a way for people in the membership to connect with what's going on at the national offices of the Guild and to sort of get to know a little bit more about what we're doing on the national level. So it's a real pleasure to be here. I'm sorry I can't be on this town hall in person or live, I guess, but I hope to meet a lot of you in person at the convention in Seattle this summer. And if you're interested in submitting material to TAO, please send me an email.
What a great presentation by Nick. I'm watching that for the first time myself. Terrific fellow. I'm just thrilled that Nick is in charge of the American Organist magazine, a worthy successor to Todd. And I wish him a very long and successful career as our editor. We now turn over to our Chief Membership Officer, Elizabeth George, who has done wondrous things for the AGO, including introducing us to Airmeet. Elizabeth, the floor is yours.
Thank you, James. I'm glad. I knew you hadn't seen all of that video that Nick did, but he's a really talented guy, isn't he? So I know this is all new software for you guys tonight. If you move your cursor down to the bottom of your screen, you'll see there's a whole lot of emojis that you can click on if you like what someone's saying. I don't think there's one that says you don't like it, but there's some things that you can have fun with. Little hearts can flow up and you can clap and whatever. So anyway, I know this is new for you, but we really think it's cool software. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about how it can be used later in this program. But I'm very, very excited. We have had such a successful year with the Year of the Young Organist, and it's because of you. It's because of you. At the beginning of July last year, I said to James, I have a personal goal. I want us to recruit 1,000 new young organists by the end of next year, by June 30th. And he said, Elizabeth, you really think you can do that? And I said, I think we can. It's going to take a village. It's going to take all of our chapters working together to really, really recruit organists and keep them engaged. And you've done that. As you know, we created a page with recruitment tips on how to recruit organists. Now, the tough part is how you keep them engaged. And we're going to be giving you tips every month for that. But I'm going to give you a drum roll here, because as of today, we recruited 711 new organists and we reinstated 340 organists. And some of these young organists were organists that hadn't even been members for several years. So we're counting them as new young organists, which brings us to a total of 1,051 new young organists, in addition to renewing 479. So give yourselves a hand. We couldn't have done it. It was a group effort. That's all I can say. I can't thank you enough for all of your hard work. And now it gives me really great pleasure to introduce you to Felicia Ross, who is our new manager of member engagement and chapter support. So take it away, Felicia.
Hi, it's great to be here tonight. I'm so excited to be your new member engagement and chapter support manager. I'm here to help with whatever it is your chapter needs. So feel free to send me an email or give me a call and let me know how I can help your chapter. I'm coming from my prior employment is at the Westchester Center for Westchester County Psychological Association and the Westchester Center for Psychological Education, two different psychology associations. So I do have an association background, although I'm not an organist. I'm very excited and in love with organ music and classical music as a whole. So that's just a little bit about me. So I will pass along to our new marketing and communication specialist, JW Arnold. Take it away, JW.
Well, good evening or good afternoon, wherever you are. I think I actually have the title of the newest member of the AGO team because I've only been on board for about 2 weeks now. But I will tell you that when I first joined AGO, I would have classified as a young organist. I first joined in, I believe, 1988. So I'm there with you. And in my role at AGO, I'm working with all of our communications channels, whether that be social media, email, media relations, and our marketing efforts. And I'd just like to share with you that we're here not only to promote AGO as an association, but we're here to be a resource for you as chapter leaders as well. And as you go about your year and you find yourself with a need for ideas or help, please reach out to us because I'm very happy to share my more than 25 years of expertise with you and hopefully help you to boost your chapter's programs and concerts and events. And I'd just like to throw out one thing. If you're going to Seattle, there are a number of fantastic chapter programs for you. The AGO Technology Committee has some programs on social media and on web streaming and video, online video. And the marketing committee will also be presenting a presentation that kind of takes all of that and mixes it together. So I hope that you will join us in Seattle, and please don't forget to reach out to us if we can be of assistance to you. Now, I'm happy to now turn the stage over to our Chief Technology Officer, Josh Freeman. And he's the guy behind the curtain that makes all the magic happen. So take it away, Josh.
Hi, everyone. I'm not Josh. For some reason, it says that he is not available to join us. So I am going to put James on screen so that he can introduce the next person. So just hold on 1 second.
Thank you, Molly. Well, we'll try to figure out what that technical difficulty is that's preventing Josh from being with us. Of course, ironically, it has to be the Chief Technology Officer who's experiencing a technical difficulty. Who else? But meanwhile, while we try to work through that, it is my very great pleasure to introduce the President-elect of the American Guild of Organists, Eileen Hunt.
And good afternoon, good evening. I am deeply honored to have been elected AGO National President, and I look forward to serving with our wonderful National Council. I hope to meet many of you next month at our Seattle convention, and during the next 2 years, I hope to have the opportunity to visit various regions and chapters and to greet many of our members in person. Chapter and member support is essential to the future of AGO and will be an integral part of our agenda moving forward. Thank you for giving me the privilege of serving AGO. I would now like to introduce Emily Amos, the incoming councillor for Agoyo. Congratulations on your election, Emily, and welcome to.
Thanks, Eileen. As she just said, I'm Emily Amos, and I am your new councillor for Agoyo starting in July. And just a little bit about me, I am a rising senior at the Curtis Institute of Music, where I study with the wonderful Alan Morrison. And I actually have had a history with the AGO going back to when I was 9, as far as I know, still the youngest person to have ever attended a pipe organ encounter. And that experience was incredible and sort of opened my eyes to the world of young organists and also the AGO. And I've sort of grown up in a sense with the AGO. So I am very much looking forward to building on everything that Jillian and her committee have done with the Year of the Young Organist, and I'm looking forward to seeing what I can do in the future to make this program even better than it already is. So I hope to see many of you in Seattle, and now I am going to turn it over to Nelson Dodge, Regional Councillor for the West Region.
Thank you, Emily. I'm Nelson Dodge in Los Angeles. I am just wrapping up a 4-year term as Dean of the LA chapter and was anticipating stepping back and working on some fun things locally, but the request came up to stand for regional councillor quite by surprise. But I agreed, and I am embracing this new adventure enthusiastically and looking forward to figuring out what I'm supposed to do. But bottom line, really playing off of many of the goals in the strategic plan that James reviewed briefly, my focus is really about how to help chapters thrive throughout this region. And although I've been very blessed to have a large, high-functioning chapter that made things very easy for me as the leader, I have close relationships with many of the surrounding chapters, several of which are relatively small. And in recent years, we've seen 2 nearby chapters dissolve, which is quite dismaying. So that is something. This is a focus that I have as we go forward to really connect with the chapters throughout the region and become much better acquainted. And I look forward to meeting all of you at the regional convention or at the national convention in July. Look forward to being there. Thank you very much. And next up is Mary Newton, Regional Councillor for the North Central Region. I'm not sure where that is.
Hi everyone, my name is Mary and I'm coming to you from the Twin Cities. I'm very excited to be here and I'm just very excited to be a part of the National AGO in this way. Up until this point, my involvement with the AGO, the National AGO, has been serving on the competition committee, and I've been on the NCOI committee, the NIACOP, and the RICIO. So I've gotten a little taste of what it's like to kind of see the AGO at the national level, and I'm just really honored to be a part of that. So I'm planning on being in Seattle, and I hope to see a lot of you there. I will now turn the stage over to Larry Sharp, the Regional Councillor for the Great Lakes.
We're still trying to see if we can pick Josh Freeman up to get him back with us. He's having difficulties, and we're trying to work those out. You have now just met all of the nominees-elect for the different offices, and we are thrilled that they were able to be with us today. That was really wonderful to see Eileen and Emily and Nelson and Mary and Larry. So these are all your new counselors on the National Council. Eileen and Emily are our 2 new national counselors, and then Larry and Mary. Nelson are newly elected as regional counselors, and they'll all begin their terms of service in July at the convention following the installation service at the annual business meeting. This was your chance to get to meet them informally and briefly at this chapter leader meeting. It is now my pleasure to introduce and thank for almost 6 years of just superb service, the president of the American Guild of Organists, Michael Bedford. Michael, if you're with us, the floor is yours.
Yes, I'm just delighted to be a part of this town hall meeting tonight. I'm delighted to hand the gavel over to someone like Eileen Hunt, who is so capable and has so much experience with leadership, and I know she'll do a wonderful job. I want to also underscore what Elizabeth said about the success of the Year of the Young Organist. I just think it's one of the finest things that the AGO has done in many, many years, and I think it's going to really benefit us in the long run. I also want to let you know that As of July, I will be joining the ranks of those of you who are deans. I think my people, my friends in the Tulsa chapter were afraid that I would get myself in trouble if I didn't have enough to do, so they made sure that I had something to do, and they elected me to be dean of the chapter. It's a privilege, and it's about the fourth time I've served as a dean, but we know how different things are these days and how unique our approach is to what we're doing. So I'm going to be learning along with the rest of you, and I'm going to be looking forward to that. Thanks so much for being with us this evening, and have a great evening. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. It's pretty amazing that what we've all gone through tonight. My husband just came in and told me that there was a tornado warning 2 cities over from us. We've had power blackouts most of the day. But, you know, in spite of everything else, I hope that you're enjoying this. This is the first of what I hope will be several town halls. And I just wondered if any of you had any questions. You can post in the Q&A. If you look on the right-hand corner of your screen, there's a Q&A box, and you can post some questions there. This is your turn to ask questions of me, of JW, who, by the way, you are going to love. What a great guy as far as a marketing and communication specialist. He's already improved my communications with emails. So does anybody have any questions? You know, we can even bring you to the stage if you want, so you can be seen. Nothing? Nobody. Okay. All right. Well, Airmeet is new software, but one of the most important things and one of the most engaging things I think Airmeet is great for is the opportunity. You started in what we call our social lounge, our leadership lounge. You saw that there were maybe 10 or 11 tables. We can have up to 50 tables in this lounge at one time. So my thought was, how can we make this accessible to you if you wanted to, for example, have a board meeting and not use Zoom? If you wanted to do a brown bag lunch with one of your committees, if our regional councillors said, hey, you know, rather than getting on Zoom for our dean's meeting, our quarterly dean's meeting, let's meet on Airmeet. Let's sit down at a table and talk. And the cool thing about these tables is that you can screen share. So you can show what you're doing. If you've got an example of a great chapter, you know, best practice, wherever you are, something else, that's the beauty of Airmeet. It can be used for a lot of different things. And you can have fun with the leadership lounge. You really can. So I see that there's a question. Are there plans to gather deans and deans separately, sub-deans separately? Yes, we're going to have some training in the future, just for deans, just for sub-deans, just for treasurers, just for secretaries. We're going to follow the board team handbook, which some of you were introduced to. It is a great resource. It is on the chapter toolkits page. And by the way, if you haven't, I encourage you to go to www.agohq.org and look at the home page, and you will see that there is a tab that says chapter leaders. No more hunting for resources. It's right there. It's right at your fingertips. And it's going to get a lot better as we morph into our new software, which is going to give us a new website. And no more on-card. I'm thinking if we can visually some kind of, at some point in the next town hall, have a nice big dartboard up and you can all throw darts at on-card. So I want to ask you, I want to put up a poll and say, I know you might need to have more questions about this, but does it appeal to you? Would you be interested in using this social lounge on a regular basis? And if you can say yes or no, please do. Okay, they're still coming in. Okay, I think the yeses have it. I think the yeses have it. Okay. So what we need to do for you is probably give you a little more training, have some demos on using Airmeet, but it's such a great resource. Let's use it. I mean, it could be done. And again, email me. I probably could have put up a poll. Would Monday be the best day? The beautiful thing about the Leadership Lounge is I can start it at 9 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, and leave it on overnight for 24 hours and not turn it off until the following day. So that means that each chapter leader in each region can use this resource. Just let me know. Like we said, we have 50 tables. You can sit down, you can name your table. If you want me to book a table for you, I'll book a table for you. But I really do hope that that we can really utilize this wonderful resource and software for the next several months. In fact, we're going to do some more leadership training in the fall. I have some great ideas that David Bogles and I have been talking about. So let me just ask, Molly, is Josh able to come on yet and present?
Unfortunately, it still says that he's not available, but I know that it is being worked on currently.
Okay, well, I can talk a little bit about Amos. Amos is the new association management system and software that we'll be using. And the great thing about Amos is that it is a platform that has been designed specifically for associations that are chapter structured. I used Amos. Well, I'm not even going to tell you how many years ago I used Amos. It is now cloud-based. There are so many cool things that you can do. You'll be able to log in and create a profile for yourself. You'll be able to renew a membership very easily for someone else in your chapter. There are so many collaborative things that you'll be able to do. Reports that you can pull on a monthly basis that's going to show where you were year over year, for example. We have dashboards that are on our leadership toolkits now. And yes, they're great, but they don't drill down. So for example, you could see a 3-year comparison of how your membership has grown or what segment you need to work on. So Amos is really a wonderful resource. And at the same time, we can't put the horse before the dog, the cart before, whatever it is. Anyway, we can't launch our new website until we get Amos up and running. But the new website is going to look much better than the old website. I kind of refer to our website now as if you open somebody's garage door and you just saw a lot of boxes packed there and you were searching for maybe a fishing rod in the back. And it was hard to find things. Though I have to say, I want to say thank you to Maury Castro, who is now our webmaster, who, for example, has created that wonderful chapter leader tab that you will see on the homepage. So I don't know if anybody has any other questions. I'm going to go back to the Q&A and okay, just what you feel are the highlights of Airmeet versus Zoom. Can you still get a gallery view? Airmeet, they're two different technologies. I call Airmeet like Zoom on steroids. Currently in this particular package that we've bought, we can only bring 3 people onto the stage at a time, but it does have upgrades that we're going to be looking at. And we may even switch to a conference package, depending on the proposal that we get from them. I don't know about you, but you can't see them, but I had so many gray hairs at last year's 2021 Leadership Lounge trying to put all of you into, I think Molly will agree with me, what did we have, 17 concurrent breakout rooms? It was a nightmare. So, I mean, the idea to go back and forth from a main stage or general session or whatever you want to call it, go back to your lounge for a bit to do some breakouts based on table topics, based on leadership roles, and then move back into the main stage for Q&A, bring people onto the stage, which you can't do as easily in Zoom. It's not as much fun anyway. I think those are the differences. Do you mean chapter leaders using it for each other or for chapter meetings? I think, maybe we could use it for some chapter meetings. I don't see why you couldn't. It would depend. It would depend on how you were going to use it. I don't want to promise that, but we will look into that. Does each chapter need to purchase their own subscription to Airmeet? No, you don't. You don't. Absolutely, you don't. I did a lot of soul searching and did a lot of research, as Molly can tell you, and Felicia looked at some, and Josh Freeman looked at some, and we thought Airmeet really met our purposes for the time being. Let's see. I think that's about it. Can we only use it if Elizabeth opens it up for us? Yes. I'd have to set it up for you. But I said, please email me. Let's talk about this more. Is Monday the best day to do this? Is Tuesday evening the best day? You tell me, and it could be more than one night a week. I just need to get you going, and then I can just leave it open and leave you to do whatever you want to do. So I don't need to keep monitoring it. The point is, I think it has a lot more capabilities. I think that has answered just about everything. I want to thank you. This hasn't been an easy year. It hasn't been an easy 2 years. And I know that there's been a lot of Zoom fatigue. I know that you've had problems fulfilling slates. It hasn't been easy. If you need to take more time to find people for those slates, that's fine. I would encourage you, if you haven't, to read the June issue of the newsletter, because it starts with less is more. And if you only put together 4 programs this year that are great programs, and the rest of the time you can meet on Airmeet or on Zoom so you stay connected, that's just fine. You all have more to do now than you did 2 years ago. And we are, as it was clearly stated in the strategic plan, we are trying so hard to think of ways that we can lessen your leadership responsibilities because of all the work that you're doing in your personal lives now. So that's my promise to you. We want to continue the conversation. I know how precious your time is. So unless anybody has any other questions, I think what we should probably do now is just thank you all. Thank Larry Sharp, who I know is going to get more familiar in his job as Great Lakes Councillor. Thank Mary Newton, who is going to be also in our North Central, and Nelson Dodge. We're blessed to have wonderful new regional councillors, and those that are outgoing, we want to thank as well. You do so much for our chapters. If there's one thing I could say to you is that between your regional councillors and headquarters, Felicia and myself, we've got your backs. We want you to succeed. We don't want you to fail. So please contact us. That's what we're here for. So thank you so much. Just please remember, if you weren't here, we wouldn't be here. So thank you so very, very much. And I'm going to give it back to James. James, do you have a couple of parting words that you'd like to say to everyone?
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. I was hoping it would come back to me, if only so I could thank you for your leadership on the staff and for engineering all of these wonderful programs for us, webinars, and this chapter leadership group session, which is so valuable. I think we had something like 90 people participating, which is a fantastic turnout. So thank you all. And for those of you who have taken your time to come here, thank you very much. You've asked a ton of great questions, trying to keep up with your questions and answer them as best I can. But I think we will be able to look at them afterwards and get back to you individually if we haven't answered your question in the message section. So great to be with you. And I am looking over, and Josh is still not able, unfortunately, to be with us. So I think we're going to close it down, unless Elizabeth, the social lounge will remain.